I quit setting resolutions after learning how to do the three things that I'm going to share with you on today's episode. Welcome to the Creative Life in Motion podcast, where we discuss creativity, movement, and taking action in life now instead of waiting for the perfect time. I'm your host, Karen Wilson. Let's dive into today's show, shall we? I'm really super excited about today's show as sharing with you. This is part 4 of the Plan With Me series. The 3 specific things that we're going to talk about that are really, I feel like, are going to help move the needle for you. And when I share with you the way that I kind of look at them, maybe it'll cast and shed some light on the way you look at your goals, the way you set your intentions, and the way you get after them. It's really simplified things for me, and I'm excited to share this concept with you. So there's 3 things. That is intentions, super stacks, and affirmations. Now, you could also go ahead and set a list of goals after you've gone through, the step 1 with the visioning process and figuring out where you are and where you want to go. And then number 2, actually evaluating what your day looks like and what season you're in and what is actually realistic for you to put in your timescape, because every season is different. And then setting up those boundaries with the BFF, the smartphone, because let's face it, that's the easiest boundary we can put up. You put up boundaries around families and friends, and it's a little tougher, but you can be a little bit more unattached and unemotional to your phone and set up those boundaries without, the phone getting offended, and you can control who you let in. And that's what we talked about in episode 3 of this series. Today, we're going to really dive deep into taking those action steps. And this is like one of my most favorite parts, because I have difficulties planning. I don't really like planning. I don't really like, talking about thinking about my intentions and writing things out. And it feels so repetitive. But once I do get into the process, it's just like a workout, right? I really don't want to put my shoes on and head out the door, or I really don't want to get started. But once I'm in it for 2 to 3 minutes, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I need. And the same is true for when you're, setting intentions for another phase in the life. It's one of the reasons why I created the Ideas in Motion, which is the pages that we're going through in this series, because I needed something a little bit more simplified than setting my annual goals. Like, I have a planner for that too, but I'll talk about that in another video, how I have an annual sort of planner. And then this is more like a short-term, simplified, personal type of journal that I'm sharing with you in the Ideas in Motion planning system. So you know that you can get that link below wherever you're listening or viewing this podcast, and you can follow along, or you can use just whatever you use as your planner. It's the system in the planner. It's not necessarily the pages. So the pages don't do the work for you. You do the work in the system. So let's get at it. Okay, so today we are on the my 28-day intentions page. And so if you've done your homework, this is specifically homework that we're going to bring forward from the day 1 in the discovery zone. And I asked you to describe in detail how you want to feel 28 days from now in your mind, how you want your body to feel 28 days from now, and how you want to feel within your purpose. Like, are you getting the stuff that you feel called to do done? How you want to feel about that 28 days from now. And then I asked you to put it into an action, and I asked you to put it into the present tense. Now, if you haven't done this exercise from like the planning series in video number 1, I'll make sure that I link that up. It's important to go through that, because this next piece that we're doing today, we're going to directly connect the dots to there when you put together your 28-day intentions. What is your primary focus in the next 28 days? Now, you can set intentions in different types of metrics, and I choose at this phase of my life to have my metrics in a feeling. Like how do I want to feel? Lots of different seasons in my life and times in my life, I had my intentions connected to a dollar figure that I wanted to earn, or a number on the scale that I wanted to see, or a size of clothing I wanted to fit into, or the number of hours I worked in a week, the number of videos I produced, the number of pages I wrote. And I found that sometimes I would be like just way over, like I would over budget what I could do, and I would find myself falling short. Now, there's the theory that, you set the bar high, you're going to at least come, 50% of that bar. And if your 50% will be higher based on how high you hit that target. But things began to change for me significantly when I started to base it upon a feeling rather than a number or something that is kind of like a physical marker. Because if I'm not attached to a feeling, a feel good, once you get to that goal marker that's maybe attached to a number, it's like, well, what now? And so when it's attached to a feeling, the feeling is feel good. So you don't want that to end. So for me, when it's attached to a feeling, it continues to, you know, make my motivation be intrinsic rather than something I'm needing to look for another goal marker that's going to motivate me, another thing that's super big. Well, if I continue just looking for that feel good feeling, I know that all of those other things are going to come. Because if I'm going for that intentional feel good feeling, that means I am being who I need to be to get to the goals that have the tangible numbers around them. And I am doing the things that I need to do to get to those goals, which is making me feel even better about myself because I'm not sliding myself and my intentions off my to-do list. So that's just kind of a background on how I've really set that up. I tried explaining this to my husband this morning and he was lost right away. So I hope that you're not lost on this, but he didn't do, episode 1 with us. So if you're lost and you haven't done episode 1, now is your cue to go back to listen to episode 1 and come back to this one. And then you'll say, oh, now this makes sense. Okay, so now when we're writing out our intentions in feelings in metrics, focus on 3 things. The feeling, which I wrote down strong, centered, energetic, authentic, and reveal. Revealing meaning that I'm putting my work out. And so I've taken things from each one of those intentions and making sure that I'm capturing all of those feeling in my intention. The number 2 thing is the being and the doing. Okay, so who am I being to ensure that I'm doing all of these things that'll make me feel that. Within that, the actions are going to just come out. So my creative project, which I feel like everybody should have a creative project. If you're going into this, there is something, creative life in motion, ideas in motion. There is something that you're building. For me, my creative project right now in this season through to the end of January, it is a bigger focus on my body as my home, which is the one woman show that I do. I'll be doing 3 showings at the end of January. And so that means in order to be prepared for that, rehearsals of minimum 20 minutes a day. So I know that within this next season, that's one of my non-negotiables. I have to get my rehearsals in so that I am like ready to take the stage. So the one woman show, it fuses story, and this time, I like to have my niece Megan in to do the song. I've done the songs myself. This time I'm doing spoken word. I've added a little bit more humor and comedy to more of the serious and dark moments. And I'm really excited about this next showing. Every time I show it, it evolves just a little bit more, but it would not evolve if I was not practicing it. So it has to go into, a daily routine, so to speak. Now, once you've written out your primary focus for the next 28 days, something and a feeling and something that you're doing and being, being my best, healthiest self, like what are you feeling? What are you doing? What are you being? That goes into your intention box. And you might have just one thing. Maybe you don't want to focus on the feeling. Maybe you have, like, I have a tendency to have too many things. So if you're just like, "Oh my gosh, Karen, I just have like one project and I just know that I want to feel abundant and I want to keep this simple." Please do you. I'm sharing with you my examples, not so that you'll be watered down or have to copy me. It's just so that you have kind of a general idea that this doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's what you get out onto the page that matters. It's actually doing this type of work that allows you to become more self-aware. Oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. And before I jump into the super stacks, can we just take a little side note here? Like, I don't know how many times I've turned on my camera to record and I see the like dog kennel like right behind me in the frame, in the video frame. Now, it is a pretty dog kennel. I mean, it's a nice color. It kind of goes with the background. But I keep telling myself I need to reorient my room before I do another. And then to the left of me, I see this stack of things piling up that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take care of that before the end of this year. And that stack just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know why nothing's getting done with it? Is because it's not making its way into my sketch. That's it. That's all. So, how much time do I need to do all of this? Move my office orientation and clean up that stack? Probably 2 hours. It's not hard, but since I haven't scheduled it into my day, it's not getting done. So, I want you to remember that you are not lazy. You are not forgetting things. You are not like, scattered, and you do have time. You just have to get it in somewhere and do it. That's all. And you have my word. I'll do it too. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to do it before the next video I record but it is one of those things to do. Now we're going to get into number 2. You're going to take your intentions and you're going to turn them into what I call super stacks. Now, on these pages, Ideas in Motion, I had them printed out and it says morning hot list and evening hot list. Okay, really? A super stack? Hot list? Evening hot list? These are all routines, but let's make them fun. Okay. I like to call it a super stack is because it's a stack of action items that are directly fueled from your intention, how you want to feel, be, and do. And so these are all things that you're going to do after hours. These are all things that you do when no one's looking because this is all stuff that you need to do for you. Nobody's going to come in and do any of these things for you. And that's for real, like nobody's going to do it for you. These are the things that need to be done, and bookend your day so that you are taking the best care of yourself as you can. So there's an evening super stack and a morning super stack. And you've heard me talk about it before. A great morning starts the night before. And I talk about having a good bedtime evening routine. I talk about that I go dive in a deeper dive into the podcast I recorded about sleep hygiene. If you haven't listened to that, make sure you do. I'll link it up here and I'll link it down below. But complete this episode first. Let's talk about these super stacks. Super stack, like I said, is a set of items that you do that are linked together like a habit stack, but a little bit more robust than just a tiny habit stack, right? These are bigger habit stacks. And you might just start with a tiny habit stack. And the art of habit stacking, usually experts like James Clear, they say, start with like 5 minutes at a time. Like do the 5 minutes of this, 5 push-ups, 5 whatever, to get all your action items. I know you can do more than that. I mean, really, you're here. We're here together. You're working on yourself. We can go a little bit higher than that. So I'm going to share with you what a super stack for me would look like. The key to having a really great super stack is that there has to be something on it that pushes your edge, that pushes you outside your comfort zone, especially if you're a creative professional or an entrepreneur and it's literally your job to promote yourself. There needs to be something in your super stack that promotes yourself. All my fellow speakers, if you need to apply to speak on podcasts or stages or whatever, that needs to be somewhere in your super stack. All my writer friends out there, if you're writing a book, that has to be on your super stack. All my friends out there that are working on themselves, working on your body, working on your health, that needs to be part of your super stack. What if you're doing all three? They all need to be part of your super stack. Okay? So basically, the best way to do this is to outline it. So you know how we did the exercise of the perfect day. And then we also did the exercise of where's your time really going. That was in episode number 2. And those are kind of giving you an idea of how much time you really have at this moment. So this is a really great time to just look over everything over and see, okay, what's a realistic time goal for me? How much time can I really get uninterrupted in the morning or in the evening? And let me just say, there's no harm in doing a super stack at lunchtime, at noon, or at 1 p.m. or at 4 p.m. Like it doesn't have to be stuck and first thing in the morning and in the evening. The reason why we put a morning routine or a morning super stack in the morning is because quite likely you're going to get it done if you get it done before, anybody else gets up or gets in your way or what have you. And the evening super stack, that's gonna set you up for a great night's sleep so that you can start early the next day. So depending on how much time you need in the morning to complete your super stack, if that's where you've put it. Personally, I start my day at about 5:30 a.m. I do my super stack I start with writing, and then or actually right now I'm just like editing one of my free writes. So that's what I start with, and I work on that for about 50 minutes, 2 sprints of 25 minutes. Then I have a little snack, and then I do my workout. Then right after my workout, I do my rehearsal, my 20-minute rehearsal for the show. Then I have a shower, have more of a breakfast, and then I get to work. So that's my current super stack. What I am missing is applying for more stages after I'm done with this performance. Because here's the thing, right? This show that I'm doing, it can be a keynote, it can be done at schools, it can be done in theaters. And so, I can get it out into more areas. And the beautiful thing about having it rehearsed and in my body is that I can just show up and do it, right? I can do a workshop around it. There's just so many things that I can do. When you're utilizing these things 20 minutes a day and somebody calls you and says, "Hey, Karen, can you come speak at my event?" I'm show ready. I don't need time to prep. I am show ready now. I'm not like sweating. Well, I'm still going to be sweating and nervous, I'm sure, but it's already in my body and I'm good to go. So if you are a speaker or a performer, it's something that's mandatory is you have to be rehearsing your material. And so if you're not doing that, that needs to get in your super stack, just like me. And I need to start looking for more people to get in front of with the show. So that's something that needs to be added to my morning super stack in 2024. Now my evening hot list, my evening super stack, it stays the same. Only I'm adding the mandatory meditation because I'm kind of like wave off and on of that. And I know it does help. I've measured the difference. It helps my sleep. And so that's, when you know better, you do better. And then this last thing that I want you to do on this intention is set your airplane mode zone. So what time are you going to commit to being unplugged? So we went over this in detail in episode number 3, building the smartphone boundary builder. And if you haven't yet picked your boundaries, now's the time to fill that in. The next thing that we're going to do is dive right into the third piece, which is affirmations. So I have written on this page what I am looking for is not out there, it's in me. And isn't that the truth? It doesn't matter what you're doing or how you're doing it. It's definitely, a lot of times we go looking outwards for what's actually inside of us. And instead of looking at what everybody else is doing, it's time to take those eyeballs and set them inward. Usually everybody else around you gets the benefits of all of that because when you are your best self, your people get your best you. And I know you know that. In the next couple of pages in the Ideas in Motion journal, I have a page for affirmation. Those affirmations can come directly from what your primary focus of feeling is. So how I said I want to feel strong, centered, energetic, authentic, and reveal my work. So I've taken those and I've put them into affirmations. I am strong. I am centered. I am energetic. I am authentic. I am revealing. And so those are my affirmations this week. They might stay the same for the entire 28 days. You get to choose your affirmation. Whatever word you feel like you need or you're lacking, you just attach I am in front of it. Or whatever phrase you hear yourself negatively saying to yourself, you turn it around to a positive phrase and you write that down right away so that you can start to reprogram and be more aware of those negative phrases that are coming into your mind. And, use that affirmation page the way you see fit. And then there's, of course, the brain dump. I love to do a great big brain dump right before the week starts. With my writing habit, it didn't actually start with deciding that I'm going to write a book. My writing habit actually started with trying to get to know myself a little bit more through journaling. And then recalling some of my childhood events and memories and then that all evolved into a book, which evolved into a show, which evolved into 2 more books and a few more in my head that haven't started being written. One of the things that I've been focused on is being a writer. And so when I talk about who are you being, that's what would a writer do? What would writer Karen do? What is she going to get up and start doing in the morning? And what would her day look like? You can see how all of this is starting to blend together and work together as a perfect solution to setting intentions, not resolutions, to start acting the way you see yourself being. Like you think about that great big goal and how are you going to feel when you get there? Well, there's no reason why you can't feel that now. There's no reason why you can't give yourself permission to be that happy and satisfied with yourself right now. So in the brain dump, I asked 3 questions, and these actually, this is a bonus because this actually is not in the pages, but for a brain dump, just to get the wheels motion, what am I feeling? Who am I being? What am I doing to be that version of myself? And those will really get yourself, you know, those questions will really kind of prompt some of the writing. Just let the pen go or the keyboard go. And don't worry about spelling or anything like that. Just let it go. Set the timer for 10 minutes and see what comes out. It doesn't have to be a long time, but once you become, more fluent with it, you get to know little peaks and valleys of yourself that you might miss without taking the time, forcing that time to sit with yourself and really figure out who are you and where do you really want to go? Uh, and where do you want to go when no one's looking? It's a weird thing, Sometimes we talk about who we want to be or where we want to go because we want to impress the person in front of us. And I'm sharing these tactics with you because I'm still working on impressing the person I see in the mirror and, being able to say, I like that person and I love that person is not something that you can just turn on and flip the switch and it happens. It's through work. It's through self-awareness and doing stuff like this, getting yourself into the super stacking habits that you want to do because nobody's coming for you. So instead of setting those resolutions, let's recap what you're going to do. You're going to set your intentions. You're going to frame your super stacks, otherwise known as routines, but super stacks are a lot more fun and they're a lot more powerful. And your affirmations. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more of assistance doing this, I highly encourage you go ahead and download the Ideas in Motion daily pages. I'll put the link below. And with it, there is a free little video guide tour with shorter lessons than what we've been doing here because I talk about other stuff. And you can just go through it again and again and again and again until you feel as though, okay, I'm good now. I'm good for a little while. And then you'll surprise yourself and in 28 days or the start of a new month, you'll feel like, okay, where am I? What do I want to do next? And you'll actually start to look forward to these types of sessions. This time of year, it's a new year. Lots of people around us are doing it. And yeah, in the next part of this series, we're just going to look at the action items and putting them in your weekly action, week at a glance type thing, and then turning them into daily actions and kind of what to do when things go off course because they're going to go off course. That's another thing that I want you to be aware of is that going off course is totally normal and it's not a reason to quit. There is no being behind. You are right where you need to be. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next episode. Oh, by the way, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a like. Make sure you're subscribed so you see when the next video comes out. If this has been, the way you'd like to hang out together, let me know if you'd like to go a little bit deeper in an area or a topic. I love to hear from you and, what you find interesting or not interesting. And I'll work on getting this background a little fixed up. Thanks for being here. Talk soon. Bye for now.